Kurinji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurinji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
Today class, we are going to discuss about nuclear fusion and energy generation in stars. Okay. So what is today class ma? Nuclear fusion, energy generation in stars. Okay, right. So what is nuclear fusion? What this already we discussed what is fusion, but once again you see here, when two light nuclei fuse to form a large nucleus. When two light nuclei fuse combine to form a large nucleus, energy will be released. So this reaction, this nuclear reaction is said to be nuclear fusion. Okay. You can see some examples here. Here, see this examples. Two protons are combined to give deuteron along with positron, and some energy is also going to release here, that is 0.42 million electron volt. Here this proton and proton are like light nuclei to form a large nucleus, that is what H21. So when compared to these two, this is the large nucleus. Deuteron H21 is a large nucleus along with release of some energy. So this is nuclear fusion. So here two protons fused to form a deuteron, along with releasing certain amount of energy, that is 0.42 million electron volt. Next, see the next step here. Two deuterons are going to combine. Two deuterons are going to combine to form a triton. See here, He32, sorry ma, this is helium. It is helium, right? So it is deuteron, it is triton, it is helium, He32, helium isotope. So when two deuterons are combined to form a helium along with releasing of 3.27 million electron volt. So see these three nuclear reactions individually or separately. Next, again here also in third reaction also two deuterons are going to combine to form a triton. Along with a proton and releasing 4.03 million electron volt energy. 4.03 million electron volt energy. Okay, right. So you see here in first reaction two protons combine to form a deuteron and a positron with a release of 0.42 million electron volts energy. In second nuclear reaction, in this nuclear fusion, two deuterons combine to form the light isotope of helium. In third two deuterons combine to form a triton and proton, a triton and proton, along with the releasing of 4.03 million electron volts energy. So, these three are the three different process which shows us what's a nuclear fusion. In different reactions, either 1, 2 or 3, two lighter nucleus are going to combine to form a large nucleus along with the releasing of certain amount of energy in million electron volts here. Next, see here, for fusion, for nuclear fusion to take place, the two nuclei must come close enough so that attractive short range nuclear force is able to affect them. Attractive short range nuclear force is able to affect them. Suppose for example, if you take reaction 1, to participate in nuclear fusion, these two things first come close to each other, from close enough, so that what will happen? Attractive short range nuclear force is able to affect them. So, first because of this attractive short range nuclear force, these two things will come close. But there is one more point, if both are having same charge, see here, since they are both positively charged particles here, proton and proton, they experience Coulomb repulsion also, Coulomb repulsive force, Coulomb repulsion. They therefore must have enough energy to overcome this Coulomb barrier, to overcome this Coulomb barrier, to participate in fusion successfully and to form a new nucleus, a large nucleus. First they have to come close to each other, so that they have to expose, first they have to bear, the reason is the attractive short range nuclear force. Afterwards, if they are both same charge, here positively charged, they experience Coulomb repulsive force, Coulomb repulsion. Thereafter, therefore, they must have enough energy to overcome this Coulomb barrier. You just imagine, suppose if only repulsive forces exist between these two, how far is it correct? So, we can't expect the combined situation of these two, so that we cannot expect the formation of deuterium here, that is H2O. So, once you go back to the structure of atom, how atom exists, right? Suppose if there is only attractive force, they can combine. If there is only repulsive force, they have to move away from each other anywhere. But here what is happening? Two protons H11 and H11 are going to combine to form a deuterium. So, to form this deuterium, these two have to combine. So, to combine, first they have to come close to each other. So, they have to come close enough, so that attractive short range nuclear force is able to affect them. Initially, attractive short range nuclear force is able to affect them. Afterwards, these both protons are positively charged particles, so that they experience Coulomb repulsive force or Coulomb repulsion. Therefore, they must have enough energy to overcome this Coulomb barrier. Suppose if they are not going to overcome this Coulomb barrier, means you can't expect fusion, right? See here, the height of the barrier depends upon height of the barrier. The height of the barrier depends upon the charges and radius of the two interacting nuclei. This is the important point. He is talking about depending and independent factors linking to the height of the barrier. So, the information from here to here. So, these 3 points are very important. These 3 points are giving information about the height of the barrier linking to another quantities. Okay. See here, the height of the barrier depends on the charges and radius of the two interacting nuclei. 2 points are here, one is charge Another one is radius of the two interacting nuclei. So, height of barrier depends upon charge and radius of the two interacting nuclei. Afterwards, barrier height for two protons. So, he calculated, if you take two protons, what is the barrier potential? What is the, so here it is called as barrier height. Okay. So, potential also in our electrostatics gives the magnitude difference of energy between 2 points. Here barrier height gives the Coulomb repulsive force. Coulomb repulsive force. So, here you can call it as barrier height. There we call it as, in our semiconductor devices, right, we call them as barrier potential. Okay, right. So, here it is barrier height. Barrier height. Barrier height is directly proportional to the quantity of charge. So, here he told that depends upon the charge. Here he has given that relation, barrier height is directly proportional to the quantity of charge. Quantity of charge. Next, here the temperature required for two protons in a proton gas. So, he went for calculation. So, it requires an amount of temperature to participate in nuclear fission. How much amount of temperature it needs? So, he went for calculation here. See that the temperature required for two protons in a proton gas is, you can calculate, see this, no? 3 by 2 kb into T. Kb is the Boltzmann constant. When it is approximately equal to 400 kilo electron volts, see here. So, the barrier height for two protons is 400 kilo electron volts. If you go for calculation of temperature required for two protons to participate in fusion in a proton gas, then you can calculate the temperature. It will be 3 into 10 to the power of 9 Kelvin. 3 into 10 to the power of 9 Kelvin. See here. Next. So, in these 3 points, from here onwards, here we talked about the barrier height required for two protons to participate in fusion, that is approximately equal to 400 kilo electron volt. Then we talked about the relation between barrier height and charge, which is directly proportional. Next, we calculated the temperature required for two protons to participate in fusion in a proton gas, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 9 Kelvin. So, this value we got by equating these two, that is 3 by 2 kb into T is equal to the 400, approximately equal to the 400 kilo electron volt, means finally the temperature value is 3 into 10 to the power of 9 Kelvin. Right. Next, fusion is achieved by raising the temperature of the system so that particles have enough kinetic energy to overcome the Coulomb repulsive behavior. See this. So, he is going for mechanism, right. So, here we talked about how the fusion takes place. Here we talked about Coulomb repulsion, which is the very important factor which must overcome by both the things which are participating in fission to form a new or large nucleus. And here we talked about height of barrier or barrier height and relation between barrier height and charge, and what is the barrier height for two protons. So, by knowing this value, you can calculate the temperature requirement for two protons to participate in a fusion in proton gas. See here. So, this is the temperature value. Next, fusion is achieved by raising the temperature of the system so that particles have enough kinetic energy to overcome the Coulomb repulsive behavior. This happens in thermonuclear fission. See here. So, we are going to discuss the stars, so celestial objects. So, sun is the best example. So, in case of stars, what is happening? So, what is thermonuclear fission? Okay, see this. Fusion is achieved by raising the temperature of the system. For example, sun, for example, star is one system. So, how fusion is achieving in star? Just by raising the temperature of the system. So, if you raise the temperature of the system, what will happen? The particles which are going to participate in fusion have enough kinetic energy to overcome the Coulomb repulsive force, to overcome the Coulomb repulsion behavior. This happens in thermonuclear fission. So, the fission which takes place in this manner is simply called as thermonuclear fusion. So, which takes place in stars, sun also. See here. In case of sun, interior temperature is insufficient for fusion of particles with average energy. Important point. So, we are going for practical information. See here, practically, in case of sun, interior temperature, the temperature of internal part, interior temperature is insufficient for fusion of particles with average energy. See this. Fusion in the sun involves protons. So, what is the energy of the proton? See the bracket. Energy is much above the average energy. So, this is for particles with average energy. So, when the particles are available with average energy in the internal part of a sun, so the interior temperature, the internal temperature is insufficient for fusion. But if protons are there, fusion is in the sun involves protons, then the energy of the protons much above the average energy, so that the fusion reaction will take place. But it is also, you can talk about fusion reaction takes place in the sun, it is multi-step process. See here, the fuel in the sun is the hydrogen in its core, okay, is a general point. Next, see the cycle which is very important, which is proton-proton cycle, which takes place in the sun. See here. So, you know very well all these things, but once again you see one by one. See the equation 4, two protons are going to combine to form deuterium, positron and releasing of some energy. Next here E plus E minus gives rise to gamma plus 1.02 million electron volts energy. Next deuteron H21 plus proton H11 gives to helium, light helium isotope He32 plus gamma plus 5.49 million electron volt energy. It is equation number 6. Next, these three equations, so equation 4, 5, 6 should occur twice. See here, equation 4, 5, 6 should occur twice, in which two light helium nuclei, see here two light helium nuclei unite to form ordinary helium nuclei. So, here we have 4 reactions. So, these 3 should occur twice to form or to give this last equation, that is equation 7. That only he is saying here. Next, by combining all these things, we can write generally, that is what 4 protons are going to combine. 4 protons, 2 electrons combine to give helium He42 along with releasing of some energy, that is 26.7 million electron volts. 26.7 million electron volt. So, here 4 hydrogen atoms combine to form He42 along with 26.7 million electron volt energy. Okay, right. Next, as the hydrogen in the core of a sun gets depleted, becomes helium, core starts to cool and begins to collapse, lead to the increasing temperature of core under its own gravity. So, this is the practical situation what is happening in the sun. So, it is very important to remember to understand the mechanism what is happening in the internal part of the sun as well as star. See here, as the hydrogen in the case of core of a sun gets depleted, becomes helium, then core starts to cool and begins to collapse, leads to the increasing temperature of core under its own gravity. When this temperature increases, above 10 to the power of 8 Kelvin, about 10 to the power of 8 Kelvin. Again fusion takes place, converts helium to carbon. Helium to carbon. This leads to the formation of massive elements. This leads to the formation of massive elements, but not massive more than peak of binding energy curve. So, you can see the mass of the elements in the binding energy curve. There is a chance formation of massive elements takes place here, but not the massive more than the peak of binding energy curve. Peak of the binding energy curve. Okay, right. So, this is about nuclear fusion, energy generation in stars. Energy generation in stars. Okay, right. So, from first onwards, I will repeat once again. You just focus. So, this is what is nuclear fusion. When two light nuclei fuse to form a large nucleus, energy is released. So, this mechanism is named as nuclear fusion. So, nuclear fusion is a nuclear reaction in which two light nuclei fuse to form a large nucleus along with releasing of energy. So, these are the examples of nuclear fusion. So, here protons are going to fuse, here deuterons are going to fuse, here also deuterons are going to fuse. Formation of large nucleus you can see along with the releasing of certain amount of energy. So, here he explained what happens in first reaction, second reaction and third reaction. So, in first reaction, two protons are going to combine to form a deuteron and positron along with releasing of 0.42 million electron volts energy. In second reaction, two deuterons are going to combine to form lighter helium isotope along with the releasing of 3.27 million electron volts and one neutron also here. Next, two deuterons are going to combine to form H31 triton along with one proton and releasing of 4.03 million electron volts energy. Next, here he went to discuss the mechanism of fusion, right. So, for fusion to take place, the two lighter nucleus must come close enough. Then, attractive short range nuclear force is able to affect both of them. Afterwards, they are both positively charged. This is the reason they experience some Coulomb repulsion. They experience some Coulomb repulsion, right. So, they must have enough energy to overcome this Coulomb barrier, otherwise fusion will not take place. So, they must overcome this Coulomb repulsion. So, to overcome this Coulomb repulsion, they need some energy. They must have enough energy, right. So, this Coulomb barrier, so which is height of the barrier. Height of the barrier depends upon charge and radius of the two interacting nuclei. And one more point is barrier height is directly proportional to the quantity of charge. For example, if you take barrier height for two protons is approximately equal to 400 kilo electron volts. Based on this value, you can also calculate the temperature requirement for two protons in a proton gas. That is, like this you can calculate. So, if you equate these two, you can get T value, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 9 Kelvin. Right. Next, see here. So, fusion is achieved by raising the temperature, of the system, so that the particles have enough kinetic energy to overcome the Coulomb repulsive behavior. So, this happens in thermonuclear fusion, thermo indicating temperature. So, which happens in stars, that is why example stars. If you see the sun, the interior temperature is insufficient for fusion of particles with average energy. So, that if you took protons, fusion in the sun involves protons. Here the reason is the energy of the protons is much above the average energy. So, that no problem for fusion, and reaction is multi-step process. The fusion reaction is multi-step process in the sun. So, basically the fuel in the sun is hydrogen in its core. So, here you can see proton-proton cycle. So, here equation 4, 5, 6, 7. But first we have to see 4, 5, 6. Here what is happening? Two protons are combining to form deuteron and positron releasing of some energy. Similarly, here E plus plus E minus gives rise gamma plus 1.02 million electron volt energy. Next, deuterium and it is proton gives the lighter helium isotope along with gamma, and next 5.49 million electron volts. These three reactions should occur twice. Then you can see the equation number 7. So, when 4, 5, 6 takes twice, then you can see the formation of, then you can see the last equation, that is equation nuclear reaction, or equation that is 7. So, here two lighter helium isotopes are going to combine to form ordinary helium nucleus along with 2 protons and releasing 12.86 million electron volt energy. Okay, right. So, by combining all these things, you can write one general nuclear reaction, nuclear fusion, that is what 4 protons along with 2 electrons combine to form helium nuclei, including the 26.7 million electron volt energy. Okay, as the hydrogen in the core of a sun. Okay, so this is the reaction by combining all these things. Next point you see, that is also very important here. As the hydrogen in the core of a sun gets depleted, becomes helium, core starts to cool and begins to collapse, leads to the increasing temperature of core under its own gravity. When this temperature increases about 10 to the power of 8 Kelvin, again fusion takes place, converts helium to carbon. This finally leads to the formation of massive elements, but not the massive more than the peak of binding energy curve. So, from here to here, so this total point from as the hydrogen to the last here. So, this total information, this 6 or 7 lines of information is telling about the practical situation, the situation which happens in the sun. You know very well, the sun is giving enormous amount of light as well as heat. Light is a form of energy, heat is also a form of energy. So, what is the reason? For how many years? For how many years the sun is giving light as well as heat? In our future also, how much time, how far the sun will provide continuously this light and heat? So, here you can get the solution for that, and how it was possible also you can understand by saying this 7 lines of information. Right. Next small thing is controlled thermal nuclear fusion. Next small thing is controlled thermonuclear fusion. So, yesterday in the last class we discussed about nuclear reactor, but in there we had fission as a mechanism. In that class we discussed a nuclear reactor based on the fission. By using the concept of fusion also, you can construct a nuclear reactor. Okay. So, there the mechanism is controlled thermonuclear fusion. So, you see these points, in controlled fusion reactors, the aim is to generate steady power by heating the nuclear fuel, right. Even in nuclear reactor, what we discussed based on the nuclear fission, also our aim is this one only. What is that? Generate steady power, steady energy output or steady power. But here how we are achieving that? By heating the nuclear fuel, So, nuclear fuel means here positive ions plus electrons, So, electrons means in the bracket plasma, right. So, by heating the nuclear fuel, we are achieving, or we are going to generate a steady power in case of nuclear fusion reactor. But here the challenging task for us is to confine this plasma state, because we need a container which withstand such a high temperature. It is a challenging task in case of fusion reactors. Okay, right. So, here you can see that if it is successful, fusion reactors also helps us to supply almost unlimited power to humanity, Okay, right. Thank you.